Member for Oak Bay, Gordon Head.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, yesterday the Premier held a press conference in the Rose Garden where she stated, and I quote, "This isn't a working legislature and I haven't seen any evidence that it could work." She further stated there's no effort on the part of either opposition party to work together. You know, Honourable Speaker, she implied that because the government under her leadership has been unable to advance its agenda, frankly our agenda, the only option is to subject British Columbia to another election. For weeks, the Premier has delayed a confidence vote that she knows she will lose. Instead, her government has chosen to play political games that are designed to undermine cooperation and stability. Let me be clear. Stability does not depend on this Premier holding on to power. The Greens stand ready to work with all parties once the government has demonstrated it has confidence of the House.
Members.
Once the government has... Thank you. Once the government has demonstrated that it has...
Chair will hear the question.
Thank you. My question through you, Honourable Speaker, to the Premier is this. Can the Premier clarify why she made this statement when the majority of members in this House stand ready and willing to work together?
Premier of British Columbia. Premier. Premier, through the chair.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, that member campaigned hard in the election on saying that he was going to be different. And instead, what he's done is decided to just be more of the same. That member campaigned in the election saying that he was going to be an independent voice in this legislature. And instead, what he's done is decided to sit there and take orders from one of the major parties rather than making up his own mind. And that member said that he supported campaign finance reform and then refused to even look at it when it was proposed in this legislature. And now that member stands up and says he's willing to work with anybody. Nobody believes you anymore.
Member has a supplemental.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. It's good to see the Premier acting like the leader of the official opposition in response to my question here. Honourable Speaker, we've been very clear. This government needs to test the confidence of this House before this government can actually claim that it is not working. You know, again, Honourable Speaker, yesterday, the Premier told the press in the Rose Garden this: I don't see a path forward. I don't see any evidence that it can work. You know, I think more aptly the Premier has found that there's no evidence that the BC Liberal government can work, as it lacks the confidence of this House. The Greens again have made it clear. We are ready to work with all parties once government has demonstrated.
Members, the chair will hear the question.
It's remarkable. They're getting ready to be in opposition, Honourable Speaker, yet again. Once again.
Members, the chair will hear the question.
Thank you. We've got a feisty bunch on the other side.
The question,
again,
member.
Once the government has demonstrated that it has the confidence of the House. You know, it's very clear to us. It's very clear to the Legislative Press Gallery. It's very clear to the people in British Columbia that this Premier is trying to actually have an election because she knows she doesn't have the confidence of the House. Again,
Members, the chair will hear the question.
Again.
And the question, member?
Again, I encourage the members opposite to read the columns in the paper today by the...
Members, the chair will hear the question. The chair will hear the question. Members,
as I said earlier, Honourable Speaker,
can you move to the question?
It's time for this lot to be put into timeout. You're acting like a belligerent children who are kicking and screaming as they're going into that timeout. Again, My
chair will
question-
hear a question.
Thank you. My question through you to the Premier. Can the Premier please clarify why she made this statement again when the majority of members are here in the House ready and willing to work together?
Premier, British Columbia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So that member, for the last 7 days, or the days that we've sat, has rejected 2 pieces of legislation that he said during the election and campaigned very hard and said that he supported, including campaign finance reform. He has stood in this House, and we've seen the spectacle of the opposition House Leader whispering orders to him and coming down and telling him how to vote. We have watched as this member has steadfastly refused to work with members in this House on issues with which he said he profoundly agrees. And now he is saying, trust me, I do want to work with everybody, just not now. And now he is saying, and after saying to his constituents, I do want to work with everybody. I do want the legislature to be different. I don't want to be part of this arena where good ideas are rejected just for political reasons. He wasn't telling the truth about that then, and he isn't telling the truth about what he is saying today.
Premier.